Hello and welcome back. I trust your opening of the new school year has been great and everyone is ready for another exciting year. I want to begin by thanking all of our colleagues who worked so hard during the summer months to help us get ready for the new year. And of course, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to each of you who work hard every day to help us create the very best experience for all 42,000 students and 4,000 employees. Thank you. In addition, I want to express my sincerest appreciation to our Board of Education for their commitment, their leadership, and their vision in helping us become a stronger and healthier district. We are so fortunate to have such leaders at the helm. My comments today are going to focus on three things: our why, our what, and our how. This summer, I once again reviewed the book Our Kids by Dr. Robert Putnam, Harvard professor and described today as one of the greatest minds of our time. In his book, he speaks about the opportunity gap, those who have the opportunities and those who do not, and it's based on income. Those students who have the opportunity to go on vacations, enroll in sports, music lessons, theater, dance, receive private tutoring, and those who do not have that opportunity. Putnam calls this the opportunity gap. And he shows how the opportunity gap is one of the main reasons for so many other challenges we currently face today in our society. Such as, he says, the economic inequality that we see, cultural individualism, social isolation, and even the current polarization we are seeing throughout our communities. I became curious and wanted to know more about how his research applied to RUSD. I wanted to know how the opportunity gap correlated with our achievement gap and some of the challenges that we are faced with. So I asked our research and assessment department to provide some information for me. What you see on the screen is a few data points for our students who come from low-income households, and it's based on our free or reduced lunch criteria, which makes up 66% of our 42,000 students enrolled in our district. You see that the red line represents low income and the blue line represents non-low income. You can see the gap between the two lines. The achievement data at the bottom of the graph are last year's English Language Arts and Math state test scores, as well as our graduation and college going rates. Again, it's clear there is an achievement gap that exists between our low income and our non-low income students. I was also curious to see if there was a gap that existed in our suspensions and chronically absent students. The data tells us that students coming from low-income households are 2.5 times more likely to be suspended and 2.2 times more likely to be chronically absent more often than their non-low-income peers. I then wanted to know the demographics of our low-income students. In our district, we have 42,000 students, and our African American students make up 6.6% of our total student population, and yet 70% of our African American students come from low-income households. Our Latino population makes up approximately 70% of our 42,000 students, and 79% of our Latino children are coming to us from low-income households. 21% of our overall student population is white, and 36% of our white students are coming from low-income households. Look at the English learners. Out of our 42,000 students, 17% are English learners, of which 93% are coming from low-income households. You can also see 65% of our students receiving special education services, and 100% of our homeless students are considered low income. So, the opportunity gap that Dr. Putnam talks about absolutely correlates with the achievement gap, and as a district, we need to aggressively address these challenges. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. There's a lot of hope. And this summer, I attended a solutions forum at UCR where Dr. Putnam was the keynote. He shared several solutions that communities, organizations, and even school districts are doing to successfully address this growing problem. At the top of his list, he said is to, number one, make all of our decisions based on equity, to intentionally build bridges across class, race, and organizations, to reach out and help our parents and families become even stronger by providing coaching and making home visits, and provide a lot more intensive mentoring for our kids. So let me connect this to our work here in RUSD and our why, our what, and our how. by using a sports analogy. In team sports, plays are developed for certain game situations and compiled into a playbook. Successful players study the playbook so thoroughly that they know exactly, almost instinctively, what to do. In RUSD, we too have a playbook, and we've had one for the past 3 years. It's referred to as the guide. Now, this past summer, a team made up of our colleagues came together and updated it, so it's now referred to as the Guide 2.0, and it tells us exactly what we are to do. For example, it clearly tells us about our why, which is the very reason we exist as a school district. Our why is our mission. You can see that our mission clearly calls out equity, engagement, and innovation for all, and all means all, every student and every employee, every day. In our playbook, you learn about our what we are to do. We are to live and lead through our RUSD values. I want you to look at these values and how well they reflect an outward or a we mindset, community, engagement, equity, well-being, and all of these values certainly support our tagline we have in RUSD to be extraordinary. In our playbook, you'll also learn about our hows. These are our district-specific goals and actions. Just as great athletes spend hundreds of hours studying their playbook or perfecting one small aspect of their game, as an RUSD team member, you will need that same mindset. Now this year, our collective focus as employees will be to learn really well and carry out the actions found within our playbook. However, we're going to take the very top recommendation that Dr. Putman's research suggests and go deep in the value of equity. We want to look at our individual and collective practices, even our policies and procedures, through the lens of equity. Really understanding what equity looks like, feels like, and sounds like, essentially putting equity at the center of our decisions. Within the value of equity, we're going to go deep in understanding diversity, which goes well beyond low income to include race, gender, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, and even religion. Also within the value of equity, we'll go deep in our understanding of what it means to create inclusive environments for all. Remember, the value of equity touches every decision, every school, every department, every employee, every student, and every family. So, as we begin another school year, my hope and expectation is that each of us will make the commitment to learn what is in our playbook. Live and lead through our RUSD values, focusing on the value of equity and striving daily to execute your individual role by carrying out the actions found in the Guide 2.0. Welcome back, and let's make it an extraordinary school year.